Hi, this is Dr. Kelly Donahoe from drkellydonahoe.com as well as magnoliapsych.com. Here today to talk with you a little bit more in depth about empathy. Empathy is one of my favorite words. It's one of my favorite things. It's something I like to work on and try to be better at. So, some of you might know that I'm trying to write a book, and it started off as this idea about bias and race and culture, and it is growing to be about how we can sort of move beyond EQ or emotional intelligence to be able to connect better with the people in our lives. And so, one of the interesting things about empathy is that while I'm writing this book, empathy is a full third of the book. Without empathy, we can learn a lot about other people and we can understand some things, but it is unlikely that we'll really be able to connect as deeply as we would like. So, when I think about empathy, I like to use what I call the empathy equation. And this is based on some research done by a nursing scholar who came up with this idea. Her name was Wiseman, and she thought that we could break down empathy into four distinct components. And those components are, first of all, being able to enter into another person's world. Number two, no judgment. Number three, to be able to understand the feelings that the other person is having. And number four, to be able to express that you do understand what they are feeling. So I'm going to break those down a little bit for you. And my goal is that you'll be able to hear something and maybe think, oh, you know what? That's something that I'm doing really, really great. Or that's something that I might want to work on a little bit because we could all use a little bit more empathy. So the first one, again, is entering into another person's world. That may sound easy, and maybe for you it is, but I want to say that it takes about 14 steps to be able to enter into another person's world. First of all, you have to be able to think about what you're thinking. And that metacognition is what we call that. And that's hard. That's abstract thinking, being able to think about what I'm thinking, which is kind of a cool concept. Actually, metacognition is one of my very favorite words and things to think about. Like the sides of my brain feel like warm and fuzzy, and I really like that. Okay, so the first step in being able to enter into another person's world is that you have to be able to think about what you're thinking. And then, do you see how that's happening? Also, look over there at the other person and think, oh, in this situation, they are likely to be thinking or feeling this. And as you can see, there's all sorts of things moving, right? What's happening in this situation, who they are, what you know about them, what you don't know about them, what you suppose. There's a lot of moving pieces. And so being able to enter into another person's world, we sometimes call theory of mind, which is a whole field of study. Really, really awesome. I'm trying to write about it right now for the book, and there's so much to say. So look it up if you're interested. Theory of mind can be very difficult if you have a diagnosis somewhere on the autism spectrum. Maybe you have Asperger's syndrome, and you find it difficult, or maybe some anxiety, or struggle with social skills. Good thing for you that we can teach that and learn and practice those skills. So whether it's something that might be more challenging for you or is second nature, entering into another person's world is the first step in empathy. Empathy is a coming alongside. The title of the chapter that I'm writing right now is Empathy is Transformational, because it is. You have to enter into their world with them. You're not just looking at it from above or from beside or from wherever. You're in it with them. So the second part of empathy is no judgment. Now, you know who you are, and if you know me, one of my favorite things is from the movie Steel Magnolias, which is, if you don't have something nice to say, come sit by me. That's my fake Southern accent. I hope you appreciate it because I love a Southern accent. I wish I had one. So that's one of my favorite things to say. So, I can be a little judgy. We all can. But when you're trying to engage in empathy, there is no place for judgment. Let me say, judgment is part of defense mechanisms, and we need them. Defenses are important. You can't not have any defenses. However, we can also overdo it. You have to be able to give and take and thus lower your defenses when it's appropriate and healthy. So you have to ask your judgment if it's on hyperdrive, please, for just a sec, have a seat. I can't really connect if you're there because judgment is in between you and the other person. So that's number 2. So first thing, enter the other person's world. Second thing, no judgment. Third thing is to be able to understand the feelings the other person is having. How can you do this? You have to know your own feelings. Like almost everything else in the world, if you explore something yourself, you'll be better able to explain it to other people and to understand what other people are going through. So I like to think of this as very simply, if you allow yourself to experience and express the full range of human emotions, then you will be better at recognizing when someone else is experiencing and expressing those emotions as well. One of the great secret benefits of going to school for a long time to be a psychologist is that in your training in supervision, people are always saying, how did you feel about that? What did you think? So that you get to do that at work all day. And it's magical and awesome. So if that's something you need to work on, you could do it by yourself. Just start identifying the feelings that you're having. If you find that you keep sticking to the same ones, those, emotions are working pretty hard. If you watch my anxiety video, I talk a little bit about parts therapy. Ask that piece to be quiet for a second. But these are things that you can do by yourself. So figure out yourself and be able to experience and express the full range of human emotion so that you can acknowledge it and understand it in other people. So enter another person's world, no judgment, understand what other people are feeling. And number 4, express to the other person that you are there with them, that you understand. Validation. Without validation, the other person doesn't know you're there with them, so you're not empathizing. They can't feel it, right? So I'm going to someday write a book called They Don't Know Unless You Tell Them. Because people don't know. We think they know. Well, they know that I love them. Unless you tell someone, they don't know. So the 4th thing is being able to express, and that requires vulnerability and a lowering of our ego and our pride. But you gotta get in there with someone and say, I'm feeling it. Do you have to have the perfect words? No. A tear, however it is for you, it has to be authentic and real, and you have to be in it with them. I have a lot to say about the magic that I think empathy is, and that it is a true expression of love, and that when you are doing nothing but sitting with another person and trying to empathize with them and carving out a space for what they are experiencing and just reflecting that back, that something truly magical and transformational for you both can happen. Thus, empathy is transformational. I hope that there's something here that you can take some piece and go, oh, that could be helpful for me. And I love that idea. I'll keep writing and hopefully be able to share all of these ideas with you in the future. We all need more empathy. We need to feel it. We need to give it. It is love. It is transformational. Hope you have a great day. Ciao.